Well, students, good evening to all of you. So, guys, today, as you know that this is our exam preparation class of inclusive school, right? So, this is your paper of fourth semester, right, guys? So, I directly, go for the notes and, I show you the syllabus, right, guys? So, first, we see the syllabus. This is your syllabus. Am I right? So, in your syllabus, just see that topics section A and section B. Under the section A, inclusive education. Then after that, difference between special, integrated and inclusive education. Okay, guys. Then third topic is teaching strategies for inclusive education. Under this, there are four strategies: cooperative learning, peer tutorial, social learning and multisensory learning. Okay, and the last one is the most important: creating conducive environment in inclusive school, right? ये long questions बनता है, all always come, last time आया था. Okay, now in the section B, just see that under the section B, again, three topics: creating and sustaining inclusive practices. Okay, creating and sustaining inclusive practices, role of teachers, parents and community. Okay, so any questions can come, right? Last time questions came from role of community, right? How community plays a role for creating and sustaining inclusive practices. Okay, guys. Then in the second, NPE 1986. Okay, Project Integrated Education for Disabled Children 1987, the Person with Disability Act 1995, and the Right of Person with Disabilities Act 2016. So guys, what they are the act. Okay, just see that this is a shaded line. These are the act for disabled persons or inclusive persons. Okay, right? We have to talk about what the NPE, National Policy of Education 1986 says. Then IEDC, Integrated Education for Disabled Children 1987 says, and the Person with Disabilities Act 1995, the Right of Persons with Disability 2016. Means main you have to remember in this paper, right? Along with the inclusive education, okay, you have the four act, char act hai. You have the four act, okay, for disabled person, right? One is NP 1986 says about, then 87, 95 and 2016. Clear to all of you, right? The third is, last is role of Rehabilitation Council of India. The short form is RCI, right? Role of Rehabilitation Council of India in inclusive education. So guys, ultimately your paper is related with the inclusive education. And if the concept of a inclusive education, okay, is clear to you, means what is inclusive education, what is the need of inclusive education, importance of inclusive education, what are the barriers in implementing the inclusive education, and what are the measures we can taken we have to take taken by the government to measure the inclusive education. So I think would be clear to you everything, right, guys? Even the question is in the section A, see the questions: creating conducive environment. Conductive लिखा हुआ ना यहाँ पे, conducive होएगा. Okay, conducive environment. Okay, exact word is conducive environment in inclusive school. So yeah, how the teacher has to create such kind of a conducive environment, okay, useful environment for the inclusive children, right? And under this, creating and sustaining inclusive practices, what is the role of teacher, parents and community? So guys, this is all about your syllabus. Okay, so first we that okay, this is our exam preparation class, right? under this, we discuss each and everything. Last year paper also. Then we cover the syllabus. Okay. In the last, we have the query sessions. Okay, guys. So, you have shown the syllabus. You have come to know about the syllabus. Side by side, I opened the last year paper. This is the last year paper. Okay. I have already shared with you. Just you can see that this is a 35 marks paper. Okay. You have to do 2 long questions and 2 short questions, right? You can see under the section A, easy questions came. Discuss the concept and importance of inclusive education. In the, second, strategies for creating conducive environment. Okay. Section B, elaborate the role of a community in creating and sustaining inclusive practices, or describe the salient feature of person with disability Act 1995. In fact, out of a 2 you have to do 1, right? And these are the 5 short questions, right, guys? So guys, basically, everything is talking about the inclusive education. I start my class with the concept of an inclusive education, right, guys? So because I think that the concept is clear to you about inclusive education, then it becomes very easy for you. Even I have shared the, notes of, these whole syllabus with you. Okay, guys? So I start my lecture from the PPT of inclusive education. Just see the picture, all of you. What are you looking in the picture? What are you looking? You are looking in the picture, normal children, handicapped children, right? So children with, visually impaired, but all are equal. All are learning together, right, guys? So in the next slide, the meaning of inclusive education is given. What is inclusive education? Inclusive education means inclusion. What is the meaning of inclusive education? It is a such type of education that includes everyone. Everyone means normal person, disabled person, every kind of a person, right, guys? You can see the definition. It is a such type of education that includes everyone with non-disabled and disabled people, including those with special educational needs, learning together in a mainstream schools, colleges, and universities. Got the point? You can see the figure. Guys, what do you think that if the student having the learning disorder, if the student is, visually impaired, if the student is handicapped, so then what is the need of a special school and special classes? What is the need? This is a, do you know that this is a fundamental right of every children to get the education under a single roof. Single roof means every person with a normal person, right? So inclusive education kya cheez hai? Inclusive education meets that criteria. It means normal student, normal child, and the abnormal, like you can say disabled, exact word, disabled. Even it also includes the disadvantaged people, right? So that comes from the marginalized group, SC, ST, okay, these all. So every person, all are equal. We are putting up in this planet, guys. We are equal. So, education, the teacher has to provide the educations to all the students, okay? Without being partiality, without being partial. So inclusive education means where any kind of a person, normal person, disabled persons, handicapped person, visually impaired persons, every persons, they learn together under a single roof, right? Inclusiveness of education states that normal student and differently able student, they should get the equal opportunity, okay, of the education, right, guys? So in the next slide, you can see that inclusiveness of education states that a normal student and a differently abled should get equal opportunity to get the educations to meet the special educational needs. Okay. Got the point? So I think, definition of a inclusive education is clear to you, right, guys? So now, what, and now we see the what are the viewpoint of the some educationist. So some educationists say that inclusive education release new dimensions, not only of the learning, however, of the specialized learning. Okay, inclusive education is that education during which general student and special student आ गया. Okay, मतलब what is special student? Always remember, this is another name of a inclusive education, right? Special student is a part of the inclusive education during which the general student and special student get an education along with the same faculty with no discrimination. Okay, so now, now the question arises, what is the need of inclusive education? What is the need of inclusive education? Right, guys? I ask from you. But before going to the slide, I just want to share, one thing with you. Guys, actually, what happened? When we got independence, since independence and, till today, okay, we are ignoring these sections. We are not taking care of, handicapped person, visually uh, uh, impaired person, having the students, if he or she having the, learning disorders. Okay, we are not paying any attention. And, even the teachers, our community, they are putting label on that. Ye to student weak hai. Okay, he cannot understand. He is a very weak student. She is a very weak girl. Right? So we are ignoring these sections. We are ignoring the disabled person. Okay. Even it also includes the disadvantaged persons also who comes from the marginalized group. Okay. Right. So guys, what is the need of inclusive education? It talks about the need for inclusive education is necessary for every country because there are many such children who are different from the normal child. They are given education together because the ability of a learning can be increased in those children. The important line. If we start giving the education of, disabled person with the normal person, then what it would be happened, the ability of the learning can be increased. And guys, when we started to make the different classes, different schools for these sections, so do you know that what would happen? The learning would be decreased. Okay, they will develop the inferiority complex. Right? So this is the need, to learn to give the education of normal children and, disabled children. कोई भी disability है उसको, handicapped है, नजर नहीं आ रहा, learning disorder है. Okay, so both kind of a student, this is the responsibility of the teacher to provide the, coaching to, all the children. There should be equal opportunity under a single roof. ओके, तो फर्स्ट नीड तो ये होगी कि इफ वी सेपरेट these section from the normal children, so then their learning ability would be decreased. Right? This is the, need. The ability of the learning should be increased. That's why this is the first need. Then number first, provides an opportunity for children in which disabled children get opportunity to progress mentally along with normal children. Okay, we have to provide the disabled. Okay, why we expect that ki only the normal children can do wonders? Why not the different? Why not the different able student? Yeah, why not the disabled person can do wonders? Why not? And now why you have, in your mind कि only the person having the legs, he can only run. Do you know that who is the fast? The person who has made the Guinness world record. Okay, John Clark. He born without legs. He was a disabled person. He has done wonders. So we have to provide, such kind of a opportunity to disabled persons that they can also do wonders. Both normal and handicapped children take educations together normally, due to which a natural environment is created between them, which develops a sense of unity, brotherhood, and equality among the children, right? Emotions like learning and social competitions are also developed in children through it. And in today's era, it has special importance because only this education can bring change in today. Guys, also, in place of the old education system, the new education policy is being used in modern times. It is important to highlight that inclusive education does not accept a particular school or a classroom. Okay, means kya tha, guys? Now the inclusive education system has come, but 10 years back, what was happening? We were creating a different classes, different schools for those person. So what happened? The result came. They have developed the inferiority complex among them. So that's why new concept inclusive educations came. This is in your paper, inclusive education. It means where the normal children and the handicapped children, or any kind of a disability they have, they should get the equal opportunities. Right now, separating disabled children from normal children is no longer valid, as children with disabilities have the same right to participate in the educational activities. That's why, na guys, we have the three act now in our paper. Na, one is Person with Disability Act 1995. One act is 2016, and one act is 1987. Okay, now the act has become, now even the what was happened before this act now, many schools, they were not entertaining the disabled person. Okay, because matlab, they have in the mind ki they cannot learn well, they cannot do well, right? So they were ignoring that. Okay, means our community, well, we are the teachers, headmasters, principals, they were ignoring the disabled persons. This is the reason, guys, these kind of a act existed. Now no one in the school in whole country can deny the admissions for the disabled persons. Even they have to provide many facilities to them, because education is a fundamental right to every person. Even our article 21A says there is a lot of things now we are already done, like Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan says that, to provide the free and compulsory education from all the children in the country from the age of a 6 to 14 years, right? These are a lot of things, talks about the even the UEE, universalizations of elementary education. It also talks about there should be a providing a elementary education, primary educations to all the children, right? Lot of things, have talking about, emphasizing upon, to provide the basic educations to all the children, right? Even they are disabled, right, guys? Now, guys, these are some of the example. See on this PPT. Okay, in the first picture, you can see that, he was a renowned scientist, Stephen Hawking. He was a disabled person. Albert Einstein, he was also a disabled person. But guys, being disabled, they have given the, when I talk about the Stephen Hawking, they have given the theory of exploding black holes. He was a scientist, Stephen Hawking. Okay, he also gave the quantum mechanics. Now in the BSc MSc level tak, quantum mechanics are taught in the schools and colleges. It was given by the disabled person, to whom we are ignoring since independence. Albert Einstein, he was a German born physicist. He was a Nobel Prize winner. Disabled person is a Nobel Prize winner. He gave the theory of a relatively, right? And in the next figure, John Clark, already I have talked. He was born without legs, and he set a Guinness World Record for the fastest 20-meter walk on two hands. Right? So being disabled, they have done wonders. Now we have to change our mentality, right? Okay, they have the right. We have to provide the opportunity to all the person. Okay, our paper is the inclusive education. Inclusive education means normal children and disabled children, both, they should learn under a single roof. Okay, we don't have to ignore that. Okay, we have seen many examples. Okay, being disabled, they have done wonders. Up guys, you know, okay, one point, we do features of inclusive educations, then we will talk means what are the barriers basically, right? What are the bottlenecks, what are the barriers, what are the problems for implementing the, why we are not implementing the inclusive education, inclusiveness, inclusion, alag alag name hai sare, inclusiveness, inclusive education, inclusion, special education, सारा same है, right? All are same, meaning of is same. So first we talk about features of inclusive teaching and learning. I think this PPT we are discussed, है ना, क्या क्या features हैं उसमें, meaning of inclusive educations में, importance we are already discussed. Okay, क्या क्या है importance, because we have seen that ना, being disabled they have done wonders. Okay, importance also says that if we start ignoring the disabled person, okay, so then what would happen, their learning ability would be decreased, they will develop the inferiority complex, right? So these we are done that, even you can see in the notes also, I have already explained, right? Now we talk about what are the barriers. This is the important basically, right? And I think in this paper, these questions would come, because last time questions came, what do you understand by inclusive education? And, write the need and importance of inclusive education. Okay. But second part, what are the barriers? ये नहीं आया था. So now in this, this is the chances to come this topic. What are the barriers of inclusive educations, and how it can be removed. So guys, we talk about the barriers of inclusive education. Number one, lack of teaching skills in teachers. देखा, अब जाके हमें पता लगा. The problem is not in the student. The problem is in the teacher. I always, many times I have told that student is never ever weak. Anna, now you have already learned this thing, right? The weak is teacher. Okay, when I talk about the teacher is weak, it means the teacher behavior is not good, the method of teacher is not good, teaching style of teacher is not good, the teacher is not aware of the psychology of the student, the teacher is not aware of philosophy of the student, right? Like your teacher in alaik hai. Okay, so this is the problem kabhi bhi nahi hoti bacche ke andar. Always remember, problem always lies in the teacher. अब ये देखो, barriers of inclusive education talks about lack of teaching skills in the teacher. Teachers don't know how to tackle the disabled person, even sometime normal person. Okay, so lack of a development teaching skills in the teacher, this is the first barrier. Bottlenecks, problems, कैसे भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है. Social attitude, देखो, in our society we have developed such kind of attitude. It is a very harmful, guys. We all are equal. Even our maid, our peon, okay, we have to give the respect. Social attitude discourage the privileged students by creating a societal perception that these people are not able to do anything. We have the perception still today. The daughter and son of the maid, our rickshaw puller, a peon, they cannot, grow well. They cannot, get success in the life. This is a, social perception, social, attitude we have in the mind. We have to break this, social, such kind of a harmful attitude. Okay, because we are the teacher. Okay, even in our class, you have seen that. If in a class, the daughter and son of the judge and doctor is in the class, we start giving, special attentions to them. Why not others? All are equal. Guys, teacher is the real image of Brahma. It is said, yes, We are the torch bearer of the society. We are the learner. We have to give, light to the society. Even, there was one research happened, you know, many countries, they got independence during the 1950, along with us. We got independence 1947. Many countries in the world, they got independence, and now up to the 70-75 years, they have got, they have so developed, guys. Their standard of living of the people is so high than India. The research say that, the research says that the result is the, problem nikal ke kya aayi? The problem was, teachers. Because teachers, since independence, they have started giving the, coaching to all the person without any partiality, right, without any discrimination. This is the reason, because of the teachers. This is called, teachers, that plays a very important role. And now, from where this, quotation has come, teachers are the nation builders. Yahin se to aayi, right? Teachers are the nation builder. Teachers are the torch bearer of the society. Who is giving, light, learning, knowledge to all the persons? Teachers. Guys, think yourself who you are. Ask about yourself who you are. All of you. You are a, if you think, okay, you are a, a human being of, 3 or 4 persons, those persons have, more impact on your life. Out of them, one can be a teacher, one can be your parents can also be a teacher, elders can also be a teacher, right? So lack of teaching skills, social attitude, physical barrier. Child who is physical disabled has problem in learning, and they grab things slower than normal students. Okay, this is also true, bitter true. We have to accept it, right? Sometime, okay, they cannot, so we have to give, some extra effort to those to come on the up to, normal level. Syllabus. Ab ye batao, why we have, made the syllabus so difficult? Why? We don't have to make the student drop it, guys. We have to develop the, full personality of the student. We have to work on the totality, personality of the student, harmonious development of the student. Now our stakeholders, they have come to know that we have to make the syllabus so flexible, so easy, so that even a average person, below average student, they can easily do that, right? Barriers to Indian education policies, वही आ गया, some policies भी हमारी है ना, right? अब now we talk about what are the few measures for implementing inclusive education. Okay, अब now it is talking about, मतलब what are the reasons. Okay, मतलब what are the first तो हमने भी talk about barriers, now we are talking about solutions. Okay, inclusive education helps the disabled child to develop a sense of a pride in their work, because they actually feel like they accomplished something. We know that Albert Einstein was learning disabled but still managed to become the greatest mind of the 20th century. Educating children with disabilities alongside their normal disabled peers is considered one of the better ways to provide educations to the populations in India, said by the Shah 2005. The government of India needs to bridge the gaps in their education system to build a strong system of inclusive education in the country. The right to education must apply to all the children. Act बना हुआ है ना, Right to Education Act 2010, right? But it is not strictly implemented. अब भी कई schools teachers, कई schools, many management, okay, they are not applying, this act, right? So this act should be implemented strictly, है ना? Because we are talking about the solutions. तभी होगा ना, equality होगा. Even it says that we have to admit the 25% students, SC student and ST students, but आपने देखा होगा, hardly any of the schools, okay, they admit such kind of students, because they know that, oh, they will not get the fee, and others are not private schools, right? State and central government as well as the other social actors should recognize the importance of a broadened concept of inclusive education. A policy of inclusion needs to be implemented in all the schools and throughout Indian education system, NCF 2005 says. Okay, we are talking about the solutions. We are talking about the measures, okay, to implement the inclusive educations, to remove this partiality, you can say that. Okay, preparations of a teachers for rural special education program. Inclusive education should be flexible and must be reflected in the methods and materials used to give these children the widest possible access to the regular curriculum. A school-based support system, a school-based support team should develop strategies for the whole schools to meet the needs of a learner with special educational needs. आपने देखा होगा, we talk about everything in our classroom, in the uh, you can say that the staff room, है ना, where the teachers, है ना, they uh, uh, they stay over there some time. Okay, if the lecture is free, but they don't talk about this, right? So we have to develop a strong school based support system, should develop the strategies, okay, uh, to tackle with these problems. Parents have the right to be involved in all decision making concerning their child. We have to involve the parents also. Transport facilities should be altered so that these children can move around with relative ease. Student oriented components such as medical and educational assessment, books, stationery, uniform, transport allowance, reader allowance, and stipend for girls, support service, assisted devices, boarding, the lodging facility, therapeutic services, teaching learning material, etc. should provide according to the need of the students. का meaning क्या हुआ? Means the equipment related with the disabled persons we should have in these schools. What is the need? Do you know that 10 years, 20 years, 15 years back now, when this policy has started, so now whosoever the new school is opening, guys, you will find that classes over there, है ना, ground floor, first floor, second floor, you will find the ramp over there. But 10 years, 20 years back, nobody was making that. ना ही ramp होगा, ना ही कोई disabled persons होगा. Now if you don't make the ramp, if the school is a new constructed, now your school would not be recognized, not be you can say, you can't start that. Okay, inspection committee would come and they will put the, this is the problem. Okay, you have to remove, you have to first make the ramp, make available these all the devices in your laboratory, right? In service training program, अब आ गया teachers के लिए, the teachers, those having the they don't have the skills. In service teacher program for 2 to 3 weeks durations for general educator and special educators in all the disabilities and in specific areas of a disability should arrange to effectively teach students with disability. अब यहाँ पर ना दो words आ रहे हैं, दो important things हैं. In service teacher program for general teacher and special educators. Guys, do you know that in every school now, general teachers तो होते ही हैं, general teachers, they have to teach to the student, but now from last 4 to 5 years, I'm looking that school have started, good schools, I'm talking about the good schools, they have started to appoint the special educators also. So in a class, what would happen? Two teachers, general teachers and the special educator teacher would teach to the students, because sometimes general teacher, because he has done the B.Ed in the general, and if the student is you can say that the having learning disorders and need the in-depth guidance, then special educator takes that class for those disabled persons. Okay, so we have to provide the in-service programs for them, right, guys? So I think you have come to know about that inclusive educations. So under this topic, we are done with inclusiveness. What is inclusive educations? Okay, then we talk about features. Okay, then basically barriers of inclusive education. Then we talk about what are the measures, how we can remove such problems. right guys? Now I move to the your notes. Okay, I have shared the notes with you. Okay, so directly I open the file of your notes, right guys? So ये देखिए, now you can see that questions. So basically 5-6 questions I'm discussing in these notes. So naturally, 2, 3, 4 questions would come. You have to attempt only 2 questions, right guys? After discussing all the pages around 60 pages, okay, then we will talk about the syllabus. Then I will tell you, okay, how you have to do that, right guys? So first is discuss the concept, need, importance of inclusive education. So we are done in the PPT now, right? So I think it is clear to all of you, right? What is the concept, importance of inclusive education? It is so simple, right guys? So ये सारा का सारा notes आप you can learn that, okay? Concept is clear to you, right? Need, importance and other things, right? Okay, second questions. ये देखिए, ये है मेरा आइडिया, क्योंकि सेकंड क्वेश्चंस कैन कम, क्योंकि फर्स्ट क्वेश्चंस केम लास्ट ईयर. अब सेकंड क्वेश्चन, डिस्कस द कंसेप्ट ऑफ इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन, डिस्कस बैरियर्स और मेजर प्रॉब्लम्स of inclusive education, also define the measures for implementing inclusive education. So this also we are done in the PPT. First you have to talk about inclusive education, then you talk about barriers, then you talk about few measures. Okay, so all the threes we are already discussed, right? ये देखिए, barriers सारे के सारे वही हैं. Okay, lack of a teaching skills. In a PPT only it is a one line is given na, but I have explained all the things, right? So at least every heading you have to explain in 5 to 6 lines, right? Social attitude, physical barriers, syllabus, this all things. Okay, now few measures for implementing inclusive education. So RTI Act, we already discussed these all things. Okay, now we move to the third question. Describe the strategies for creating conducive environment in inclusive school. One question है ना from the syllabus, inclusive, creating a conducive environment. Ab who will create this environment? Conducive. Conducive means useful environment. The environment which is benefited for the inclusive students. Inclusive, disabled persons, up you can say that, right? So describe the strategies. What are the strategies, guys? So guys, directly we talk about the strategies for creating conducive environment. The teachers, again, the role of a teachers came. तो ये सारी चीजें टीचर्स ने क्रिएट करनी है. ओके, स्ट्रेटेजीज बनानी है तो टीचर्स ने बनानी है. ओके, बिकॉज स्टूडेंट कहां पर है? वेयर इज द स्टूडेंट? स्टूडेंट इज इन द क्लास, एंड टू होम or the persons whom has to teach to the student, the person is teacher. So teacher has to conduce. What are the strategies? Teacher has to give academic support. Get to know your student and let them get to know you. देखो कितनी बढ़िया point है. Guys, if anybody asks from me na कि Lalit sir, tell me what is the meaning of a teaching in one line, so then do you know what would be my answer? What is the meaning of a teaching? The answer would be, my answer would be, the meaning of a teaching is that to know the subject first. To know the subject first. Subject, I'm not talking about mathematics, science, English, any subject. I'm talking about the student. I'm talking the subject to the student. My answer would be to know the student first. This is the meaning of a teaching. Teaching does not mean we have to cover the syllabus. Nothing else. So we have to know the student first and let them get to know you. Right? Student को भी जानने दो आप क्या हो. अब when I talk, देखो, it is only one 3 or 4 words line, but a lot of things in this line. To know the student first. It means, guys, it includes all the 3 domain of learning. All the 3 domain. Basically 3 ही domains are learning की. कौन सी? Cognitive domain, affective domain, and psychomotor domain. It has come. If you know the student, so you should know all the things of the student, right? All the things of the student. मतलब mentally you should know about your student. You should know about the attitude, aptitude, intelligence of the student, growth and development of your student. This it means to know the student. You should know from where the student has come. He has come from the normal family, broken family. What is the attitude, aptitude? What is the mental level of the student? What is the learning pattern of the student? This is called the teaching. If you fail this, you cannot become a good teacher. If there are 40 students in your class, so guys, you should know about your all 40 students. Then your teaching will become like a flowing water. They will learn by themselves. Guys, teacher is not a, you can say that he is a dictator. Okay, teacher is a facilitator. Teacher is a such kind of a personality who motivate the student, who inspires the student. देखो कितना अच्छा पॉइंट है, गेट टू नो यूर स्टूडेंट एंड लेट देम गेट टू नो यू. यही हम करते नहीं है, राइट? एंड वी आर गिविंग फोकस अपॉन questions, syllabus, formalities. Okay, right? So, how we will create the conducive environment? Create a safe space for the student to share. Let the student share their feelings. Create a classroom that encourage interaction. अपनी क्लास में encourage करो interactions को. Create a respectful school community. Create a space for discussion. Develop a scaffold approach to learning. Scaffold, अच्छा word है. Scaffold means giving support to all the student can access the same learning. मतलब कोई चीज बतानी है, इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस भी बताना है, 4 स्टूडेंट्स को बताते हो, अरे सभी को बताओ. Scaffold means giving support to all the pupil means student can access the same learning. Create a calm, purposeful learning environment. Use pre-assessment to inform your planning. Let the children choose how to show what they have learned. This is called the conducive. Very simple. Okay, right? So next question is fourth one. Elaborate the role of a community in creating and sustaining inclusive practices. Now I'm talking about B section. A sections के खत्म हो गए हैं questions. ठीक है? This is the B section. Elaborate the role of a community. आपके तीन चीजें हैं इसमें. Stakeholders. Okay, actually topic is creating and sustaining inclusive practices. How we can create and sustain the inclusive practices. So there are the 3 stakeholders. One is teacher, one is community, and one is parents, I think. Okay, you can see the syllabus, right? So first questions I have made the notes for you. Creating and sustaining inclusive practices, the role of community. Okay, means what is the role of community in creating and sustaining inclusive practices. So pehle little bit I talk about the community, then make the heading. What is the role of a community in creating and sustaining inclusive practices? Okay, अब community को क्या करना चाहिए? Promoting sensitizations and awareness, assistance to marginalized and underprivileged students, providing human resources, building awareness to the right of children with disabilities. Means community. Because guys, community is also important. Whenever new education policy made na, so what happened? जो डॉक्टर कस्तूरी रंजन थे, उन्होंने he included the community persons, teachers, headmasters, everything they included. Even before finalizing the new education policies na, मतलब उन्होंने he announced up to the 6 months, 8 months, anyone across the country can give their suggestions. Okay, so this is the role of a community. Okay, responsiveness, involvement in policies, curriculum, ये सारा का सारा आ गया. Okay, next आगे I have made role of a teachers in creating and sustaining inclusive practices. What is the role of a teacher, right? Developing positive attitude, है ना, वही वाला role. Same points आ रहे हैं. Conducive environment for the inclusive students. Okay, and here creating and sustaining inclusiveness. What is the role of a teachers? Modifications of curriculum, communications, continuous professional development, collaborative teaching, ये आपका शॉर्ट नोट वो कोलैबोरेटिव वाला भी आ गया, कोऑपरेटिव टीचिंग, राइट, कोऑर्डिनेटिंग प्रोविजंस विद सपोर्ट। ओके, ये कुछ और पॉइंट्स लिखे हुए हैं गाइस। ओके, दीज आर वेरी इजी, वी आर ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड इन द पीपीटी एंड यू नो। ओके, थर्ड पेरेंट ही था। ओके, ये देखिए, role of a parent in creating and sustaining inclusive practices, right? Inclusive practices, inclusive, you have come to know that now. Okay, I gave more emphasized on the inclusive. You should know about the inclusive education, inclusion, right? Where the, once again I'm talking about where the normal children and the disabled children, both, they can get the equal opportunity, okay, by the same teacher under a same roof. Okay, right? So what is the role of a parents? Encouraging positive attitude, awareness of the rights, advising curriculum, okay, providing resource, supporting inclusion beyond schools. Sometimes na parents ko bhi nahi pata hota. Okay, think about the Tare Zameen Par movie. Have you seen the movie na Tare Zameen Par? Right? There was one student, I think Ishant, hai na, who was suffering from the problem dyslexia. Okay, even the parents are ignoring. Okay, so there is a need of a parents here. ये देखो, awareness of the rights, encouraging positive attitude and engagement, right? Creating and sustaining inclusiveness. Okay, अब ये कॉमन पॉइंट्स हैं, आप फिट कर सकते हो कहीं पे भी। रोल ऑफ टीचर, पेरेंट्स एंड स्कूल्स इन इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन, कॉमन पॉइंट्स फॉर ऑल द स्टेक होल्डर्स। ओके, तो ये कुछ कॉमन पॉइंट्स मैंने दिए हुए हैं, तो इट इज ए इजी गाइस। ओके, योर ऑल 100% क्वेश्चन इज ओके, यू कैन अटेम्प्ट दैट। Okay, now there is a one topic about act, है ना? One is Persons with Disability Act, and one is 2016 Act and one is 1987 Act. Okay, so इस act को, so guys, you have to learn basically, right? What is a Persons with Disability Act? Okay, ये act, when it got passed, or what is the concept of a act? तो इस act का यही concept है, आपको पता है कि this is basically for the disabled person. So it protects the right of the disabled persons. ठीक है, तो under this act it is given. Okay, it is also very easy. Okay, you can see that, right? Main feature, education, employment. Even employment में 3% quota होता है ना disabled persons का, right? So these all things it's given in this act, right? Okay, sixth question, second wala act. Salient features of the right of a person with disability act. Okay, yeah, I have defined the right of a person with disability act. Ye salient features of the, ye bhi, it is talking about the same, काफी points तो same ही होंगे उसके, person with disability act and this act of 2016, right guys? The last question was on Rehabilitation Council of India in Inclusive Education, RCI. Okay, so what is basically RCI? The Rehabilitation Council of India was a registered society in 1986. It is an apex government body set up under Parliamentary Act to regulate training programs and courses conducted for the communities of a disabled and disadvantages. Now, you know what is happening? You know that many institutes, and even in the schools, many institutes have opened who are providing the coaching to the disabled persons, okay, and disadvantaged persons. So guys, always remember, these all the schools or coaching institutes or institutes, academies who is providing the many courses for the disabled person, okay, they should be affiliated with the RCI, right? So this is the apex body. For example, you are doing B.Ed from the B.Ed colleges, okay, am I right? So guys, these your B.Ed colleges, okay, they are recognized with some of the universities. Anna, are you aware that? Okay, without the affiliations, na, they can't run. So similarly, 10 years back, 20 years back, many institutes, were running without the affiliations of the RCI. So now those institutions who are providing the coaching to the disabled person, certificate to the disabled person, many courses है ना for the disabled persons, okay, special educators वहां पे पढ़ाते हैं, so they should be recognized with the RCI. ये basically एक council है, Rehabilitation Council of India. Got it? तो ये सारा का सारा लिखा हुआ है, Rehabilitation Council of India. main aim and salient features of a RCI, purpose of a RCI and objectives of a RCI. ये देखो ये कोर्सेज होते हैं, सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स हैं, डिप्लोमा कोर्स हैं, पीजी डिप्लोमा कोर्स हैं. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट ना स्पेशल एजुकेटर, है ना. इन स्कूल्स में ना many good schools, renowned schools, even almost abhi all of the schools, okay, they have started appointed the special educator. तो वो जो special educators होते हैं, they have done the diploma, PG diploma in the special educations, even in the B.Ed. Many students ना they do the B.Ed in special education. आप जो B.Ed कर रहे हैं, you are doing the B.Ed, this is called the B.Ed in general, okay. तो many institute they provide the B.Ed in special education, right? तो उनके सर्टिफिकेट्स भी हैं, डिप्लोमास भी हैं, डिग्रीज भी हैं, बट these should be affiliated with RCI, Rehabilitation Council of India, right? So it is talking about this. तो गाइज आपकी ये लॉन्ग क्वेश्चंस खत्म हो गए हैं, ये थोड़ा आप बुक में से पढ़ लेना, ठीक है. एक छोटा सा टॉपिक था, इवन 2 टॉपिक्स तो ऑलरेडी कवर हो गए हैं. वी आर कवर्ड टीचिंग स्ट्रेटेजीज फॉर इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन, cooperative learning, peer tutoring, social learning, multisensory. It is a very easy 2 topics we have covered, okay. Ab short answers, okay. You can see that in under the short answers, okay. These ye dekho ab see the last year paper, this is the paper, okay. Long answer, we are talk about discuss and concept and importance of inclusive education, we are done, right guys. Discuss the strategies for creating conducive environment, we are done. Sections B में elaborate the role of a community in creating and sustaining inclusive practices, we are done. Along with we are done, explain the role of teacher and explain the role of parents, है ना, in creating and sustaining inclusive practices, we are done. And we are also done the features persons with disability act, even this act we are also done the act of a 2016, right? Means we are covered the last year paper and whole syllabus, okay. Now short answers, what are the short answers? Meaning of inclusive education, it is cleared, है ना. Concept of special education, role of a teacher in sustaining inclusive practices, ये देखो ये भी हो गया covered. Recommendations of a NP, objective of IEDC, right? So now we move to our notes. ये देखो first, okay, meaning of inclusive education, okay, all we are I've made the notes already, we have discussed. Special education we are discussed ना, already I have told you it is a kind of inclusive educations, right? वही है इसका second name ही है, right? Inclusive educations के भी notes हैं and I have already discussed with you, right guys? No need to explain again and again. Third देखिए, role of a teacher in sustaining inclusive practices, just we are done ना under the long question. A question was role of a community, role of a teacher, role of a parents in sustaining inclusive practices, है ना. So under this we are done. Third, right? Fourth, what are the recommendations of a NPE for education of a student with disabilities? So ये NPE talks about for the disabled persons, okay, this, okay. And last is project integrated education for disabled children 1987, right? So all the 62 pages we are discussed, all last year paper we are discussed. Now we see our syllabus, right? So syllabus guys, you can see that inclusive education meaning, concept and importance done, right? अब ये तीनों हो गए हैं, special, integrated and inclusive educations we are done, right? ये teaching strategies 4 था, है ना. I will told you to learn from your book, okay. ये नीचे वाला part we are done. Conducive environment in inclusive school, okay. Section B में creating and sustaining inclusive practices, role of teacher, parents and community, we are done. और all the act we are done. और last में role of a rehabilitation council of India in inclusive education, we are done, okay. Now guys we talk, okay, I help you, okay. मतलब which questions you can do that. Sections A का guys, naturally first questions तो आएगा ही आएगा, okay. First for a long questions you can do that. Inclusive education meaning, concept and importance, naturally it would come, right? And ये third questions we long questions I have made in notes. Creating conducive environment in inclusive school, and difference between this and all 3 we are done. So if you do these 3 for long, okay, तो इसको आप short के लिए भी कर सकते हैं. Under section B, okay, you can do first part. It क्योंकि it is already easy creating and sustaining inclusive practices, role of a teacher, parents and community का बताना है, right? और लास्ट में थर्ड पॉइंट आप कर सकते हैं रोल ऑफ आरसीआई फॉर ए लॉन्ग, राइट? इसको आप शॉर्ट के लिए कर सकते हैं, राइट? तो जैसे भी इट इज अप टू योर चॉइस, ओके, यू विल गेट द 50% चॉइस ओवर देयर, ओके, वट एवर द टॉपिक यू आर डूइंग, ओके, डू यू नो टॉपिक्स कंप्लीटली, राइट गाइस? So we have discussed the last year paper and the whole syllabus, right guys? So thank you so much for the class and best wishes for your paper. I think you have the time, okay, to cover, right? Okay guys, thank you so much to all of you for this, you know, class. Thank you so much once again.